Bonjour, I hope you're doing very well. I am happy for you to join me for a new Brocante haul today. I can see it's a type of content that's really being enjoyed. And since this is such a passion for me, I'll gladly oblige and make more. And so there's quite a few things I have found over the last few weeks on separate occasions, and the funny part is that you will probably see that it looks quite similar to the last Brocante haul I did, and I find that to be a regular occurrence when you go on Brocante, is that you will open your eyes to a type of pieces and then you start finding them. In French we call that la loi des séries, the law of series, and I feel like it's very much true for Brocante. So I'm going to start with this big jug. And if you remember my last video, there was a cache-pot by Faïencerie de Malicorne and signed by Émile Tessier. Well, would you believe that this is from the same Faïencerie and signed by Émile Tessier as well, which is very funny, and because it is so uncommon. This is not my region. So to find two pieces by Émile Tessier at different places in such a short amount of time is quite funny. I adore this piece. It is so decorative. I really like the chunkiness of it. It's almost got a childlike style to it, whilst being technically very difficult. It's got fleur de lis and flowers and that torsade handle. I adore it. It is such a beautiful piece and I'm so happy I found it. Something that might be reminiscing of my last video is this silverware dish. I found a similar one last time and I really like this one. It is nice and heavy. And it's got a very simple detailing on the edges, and the shape is more reminiscing of the Louis XV style. And I usually love using this for bread when we have friends for dinner, or even as just a decorative piece, sitting empty on a nice commode or coffee table. Always looks really nice. And I forgot to say the jug is early 20th century, very early 20th century. Another silverware piece I found is this timbale. And I love it because it has got that shell on both sides. Timbale was a present that was usually given to children on their baptism day. So they had a timbale and napkin ring and a silver spoon. This has got quite a funny story because I went to an antiques fair a few months ago and I saw it there, and I don't know why I didn't buy it at the time. I thought I would be reasonable and just not get it. But I thought about it over and over again, and I went sourcing with a friend a few weeks ago, and we went to that new Brocante we had never been to, quite far away from here, and it was there. It was the lady from that fair, and she still had this, and so immediately I knew that this time I wouldn't pass it. So this is called a pique-fleur. So you put water here, and then you've got holes all around, and in this piece as well, to just put your flowers in, and it just makes for a really lovely, delicate arrangement. I have no idea about the date of this. I don't think it is extremely old, like it's 20th century. It's not recent, but it's not crazily old either. Almost looks like an artichoke. And I'm clearly looking forward to spring because I found so many vases and I just get so inspired by all of them. I just cannot wait for there to be more flowers to really fill up my house. I fell in love with this one, dark green, mouth blown, 19th century. It is the shape that it's gaudronné, it's called a gaudron, this sort of indent like this all around. I just adore this one. Even sitting empty, I find it really, really gorgeous. And a few more vases. You are probably going to start being familiar with these. Verre de mariage, very simple. This one has got no detailing on it, but gorgeous shape nonetheless. Mouth blown, 19th century as well. And another vase from that same time period. And I love the polka dot detail. It is really unusual and just adds a little funny detail. I was very happy to find this teapot. It's Vieux Paris, which is a type of ceramic. And you can recognize Vieux Paris. Usually it's not stamped. You just recognize Vieux Paris by looking at the glaze and usually the shapes. It's usually octagonal and the glaze has a very distinctive color and a distinctive way to shine. So with a little bit of practice, you can recognize Vieux Paris pretty easily. And I quite like that this one has got remnants of gold. And it was, I mean, never been used condition. I will definitely use this. You would have seen how much I love drinking tea in my videos. What else? This is Dome. So this is very damaged. I don't usually buy damaged pieces, but I've never seen one of these, and like I've said before, I really like the neoclassical references, and this has got them all around. It's Dome, which is a pâte de verre, a glass paste, so quite thick, and then it's got these intricate illustrations through, and it represents muses playing music. This is Letton, and this is by Georges de Feur. It is signed, and that's around 1910. And yeah, I really, really liked it, and I'm going to put it on my desk. Very happy to report that I have more baskets for my kitchen ceiling, and I almost find it funny to think that this ceiling is going to get filled up throughout my videos, and I'll kind of just see video after video that it just slowly gets filled up. There's something endearing about seeing this unfold slowly and with time, and anyway. And then I found this pot. It's like a terrine pot from Lunéville. And I love those pots. I think it's very decorative. And you can put it in the kitchen with vegetables, or even now if you want to do an indoor bulb display, you can just put soil, some bulbs and some twigs, and just create something quite pretty and effective. You can use this in so many different ways. I never ever regret getting them. And finally, I'll try and do that safely, but I found this throw. It's wool, and I've already washed it really well, It's got a flower pattern, and I actually really like the back side because it's got blue and pink lines, but this is the front with what looks to me like peonies. I look forward to using this on my outdoor table by the chicken coop when the weather is going to be better. But until then, I think I've got an idea of where I'm going to put this in the house. So I hope this was an interesting discovery, and I'll now show you how I'm going to place these pieces around my house. There's something special about creating a home with antiques. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, waiting for the right pieces, stumbling upon them when you least expect it, and that's what makes it so personal. Each object has a story, a past, and by choosing it, you weave it into your own. I think that's one thing I really love about antiques. They slow you down. You can't just fill a space in one go. You have to let it evolve, trust the process, and in a way that mirrors life. The best things, the things that feel truly right, are the ones we allow time to find us. I don't actually remember a time when I wasn't drawn to antiques, but if I had to pinpoint when the passion really took hold, I'd say I was about 14. My mother had a stall at our city's annual Brocante, and I went along to help her. I had no idea what to expect, but the moment I saw collectors rushing from stall to stall in the early hours, headlamps on, eyes scanning for their next treasure, I was hooked. There was something so electric about the hunt. After helping my mother set up, I wandered around, picking up a few pieces purely on instinct. I didn't know if they had any real value, but I loved the idea that they had a history, that they had been used and loved long before I found them. I think that's one of the things that has always drawn me to antiques. The idea that something as delicate as a drinking glass has survived 100 years or more, carefully passed from hand to hand, is kind of incredible. From that moment on, I spent weekends scouring Brocante, antique shops and second-hand markets. I redecorated my teenage bedroom with my finds, and I probably had one of the most unusual bedroom for a 15-year-old at the time. Even on holidays, I was always on the lookout. I remember driving all the way to Germany once because I was set on sourcing the perfect antique hemp sacks that were impossible to find in France. Since then, I have kept this passion alive, refining my eye, learning from seasoned dealers, and making knowledge the foundation of my approach. Eventually, I started dealing antiques myself, selling privately and to select clients. And then about 4 years ago, I turned it into a full-scale business and created a lifestyle brand that combined antiques with a home fragrance line and a clothing line, all designed by me. It was a great success, but it demanded all of my time and energy. And at some point, I stopped and realized that the pace of that business just did not align with what I believe in. So I stepped away. I let go of everything except the antiques. Now I source purely for the joy of it. I know I'll probably go back to dealing again at some point, but I don't want to rush it. I feel so grateful that this passion has lasted well over 2 decades. And even now, after all these years, I still stumble across things I've never seen before, and I still get that thrill when I find something special. And honestly, that is the best part. So I hope you enjoyed this little brocante haul. Let me know in the comments which piece was your favorite, and I'll see you very soon for another video. À bientôt!